Should be streaming, hopefully. So, hello and welcome to the Uber's Spring Seasonal Finals between Hunterstorm and HugoBarrington. Hugo is on the far side, whereas we are watching Hunterstorm. I believe this is the right game. Yeah, game one. And hang on one second, I just need to figure out a way of doing this without hearing this music this loud. So if I do it this way, that should work, hopefully. Looks to, so that'll be good. Sorry if those first few moments were very, very loud. Not really my choice. So there's a T-Tar versus Xerneas. Hunter is bringing the fattest of stall teams I have seen in a long while. And Hugo has brought no way to actually break through it. So, well, I lied there. That if that's Carmine Kyogre, we've not seen Kyogre do anything yet, although he did lead with it. If it's Carmine Kyogre, it can put a hole in the team, and if it is Rest Talk Kyogre and he burns the Ferrothorn, he could be in a really good situation, in all honesty, so worth bearing in mind. He goes into Primal Groudon on the Chansey, but this is going to be a very long game. I'm going to see if I can't actually set it up so I can look at the comments at the same time, because this game and, well, maybe this series will take a while. So Toxic's the incoming Xerneas, valuing the chip damage on the Xern more than he values not taking chip damage himself. A reasonable choice. But, doubles into Salamence on the Chansey. He's going to try and rack up as much of the Stealth Rock damage as he can, but and I'm gonna switch sides just because it's more fun to look at the side that's trying to break through the stall team than the side that's than the side that's walling everything and not really losing. But that is a toxic Mega Salamence. We've seen Double Edge and Roost, so interesting. I honestly don't think I've seen that before. I mean, it's not a bad set by any means, but it's not something I think I've ever witnessed, and that is my thing. Championship Type A. So winner is Hunterstorm only needs to win one best of 3, whereas Hugo needs to win 2 best of 3s. Hunter obviously is going with the pretty safe option of the stall team right now, going with the Giratina, missing the Dragon Tail, and that Giratina's dead, so rocks are there to stay. I don't think the Dragon Tail miss mattered there, because the only thing that wouldn't have killed the Giratina at that point would have been the like the Celesteela. But equally, this is a stall team that doesn't have an answer to Arceus Ground, so I only just realized that. Holy fuck, that this loses. Okay, so Hunter's taking an immediate L. His answer to Arceus Ground was Dragon Tailing it with his Giratina. That's not a solid answer, for pretty obvious reasons, like 2 Stealth Rock switch-ins, and Giratina is almost in range of dying, and now just +2 EQ cleans up literally everything. I mean, Ferrothorn won't literally die here, but without the Giratina, he can't wall the rest of his team nearly well enough, and SD Ground missing is not a good... No, Hunter, you didn't have the game unless he was sent out into specifically... Well, either an incredibly slow Primal Kyogre or Primal Groudon or Celesteela. If Primal Kyogre or Primal Groudon outsped the Giratina, they killed it. Xerneas, Mence, and were the other 2 options, and they killed them too. So There was just no chance there. And I do not understand the lack of ground resist. I mean, that's coming even from me, because I'll normally have at least counterplay to ground types. Like, I use offense normally as my, way of playing, just because I don't have time. So I can get away with not having a ground resist sometimes, just because I have counterplay, I have things that are speedy, don't let them set up, or something like Sash Ray, although that is a ground immunity. But the lack of a ground resist on a stall team is pretty damn stupid. I'll be quite honest. Stall teams are... I mean, his team does handle Primal Groudon, but you can't ignore SD Arceus Ground entirely. I can get away with not running a ground resist because I'll have like Marsh Shadow, and I'll have Scarfers, and I'll have Mons that can take a hit from +2 Primal Groudon. Well, maybe not +2 Primal Groudon, but I'll either have Mons that allow speed +2 attack Primal Groudon, or can take a hit from +0 Primal Groudon. Like, his way of... I do not agree with the team that Hunterstorm brought. It is too weak to SD Arceus Ground. Is the very, very long and short of it. Especially because, like, Arceus Ground is an S-rank Mon at the moment, and while I don't really agree with it being that high, because I do think it got a little worse, I think that it's silly to overlook it, and it's ended up being, from a decent matchup if this was E-Killer or any other Arceus type, to almost literally, it is literally a 6-0. So, yeah, and what's more, as you can see Trap God saying in the bottom right, Toxic was the play as opposed to Dragon Tail, because, I mean, Dragon Tail would have just meant that it could set up later. So, that's not nearly good enough, in my opinion. I'll actually... No, I can't do that, because I'm also streaming music at the same time. Not streaming music, but like... I would prefer that people, if they're watching, talk in the chat, just so it's clear. I mean, I've not streamed in a while, and this is my first time actually streaming on this computer, so it is possible that I've just fucked badly up and the audio is all over the place. But that is just not good. Yeah. Not good at all. Like, you can't be that weak to SDRC's ground, because, I mean, he's saying in the chat that if he hit the Dragon Tail, everything he could come in on could Toxic it, but that's not the way it works, because you will need, like, the Chansey or the Ferrothorn, maybe not both of them, because obviously you can see the makeup of your opponent's team, but, for example, if he came in on Arceus Ground at about 30%, you'd then have to choose between letting Arceus Ground go or losing to Primal Groudon. Like, because then if he just EQ'd and killed you, then he's just picked up a kill with EQ, as opposed to you Toxicking it. And what's more, you don't exactly have switch-in, so no, I completely disagree with what he's saying down there. Completely. Like, that's just a poor team build. That's not a matter of poor play, although it was poorly played, because, I mean, Dragon Tail, I don't think was the play anyway. I think it should have been Toxic, and then with Leech Seed and Protect, you could maybe make a case for Ferrothorn being able to beat it 1v1. But you can't get away with that non-existent of an answer to SD Arceus. Like, you can't. Because it's not just a matter of SD Arceus either. Like, if you... Shit, people are messaging me on Facebook. This is a bad time for that. But like, you can't... Okay, a bit of context. I am the... Arguably, I am the poster person for not using ground resist when I really should. Like, Fireburn specifically came out of his way to at me in a server we're both in to let me know, start making Joey some teams with actual fucking ground resist, you moron. Because I just don't use them very often. And yet I'm still saying that team is far too ground weak. So, make of that what you will. Hopefully Game 2 actually starts sometime soon. That would be nice, because I can't pause this because this is literally live. Thanks to the 4 people watching. I do appreciate you all. Do people, and this is a question for the chat while I'm waiting on Game 2 to actually start, would people be interested at all if I was to do Uber's discussion series, like discussing the metagame, Pokemon, things like that, as opposed to lives? Or more accurately, like, not instead of lives, but as a supplementary to lives, because there are a lot of... I'm just not doing lives at the moment, just because of lack of time and stuff, and I can go and look for a game on the ladder, but I won't get one before this next game starts, so... if I'm not mistaken... it's just... Maybe it's not for me. Maybe people don't want to hear me talk about Ubers, but if you do, please let me know. Or... Okay, thank you, Ben. If you're wondering how delayed the stream is, that's when the comment comes through, by the way. Saying this when it's 12:15 on the actual stream. So that's how much of a delay it is. Because I have considered it in the past. It's just a matter of, like, should I actually do it? Would it be something that people would be actually interested in? Because I've had declining numbers lately. Like, my last Uber's live, I think 100 people watched. Was it the change in thumbnail? Or, like, the thumbnail style? It doesn't matter if it wasn't, or if people just aren't interested in watching my stuff anymore. But if that's the case, I'd, like, rather people tell me. I agree with High Lord, although I'm not about to board a plane. This is taking a long time. 2 people watching because, well, people have left, I imagine. What to do? Random battle? we're at the bottom of that ladder, so we should be able to get a game there and not have anything go awry. I didn't even know this was a set. Or rather, I didn't know that... Oh no, that's Intimidate thing. Okay. I can't type. Oh hey, I've actually got things. good part about streaming is meant to be the viewer interaction. He looks at the one message the entire chat has sent. Oh shit, it has Megahorn. Fuck. Okay, well, fuck you then. I'm not going to play by your game. I'm going to Leaf Blade you and pick up a kill. Emerald 2. He's gonna just thingy, I imagine. Yeah. Pharaoh, well, he left anyway, so it doesn't matter, does it? Come on, Hunterstorm. Let's see some actual games, please. Shit. For those on the live stream, this will be one of the things that is cut out in the actual video when it goes live. Hello, Dan. Please stop and just... What was his name again? Like R? I think? It was something... Ryan Wheeler. Is he still in the old game? Or is this a new game? No, he's still in the old game. Fuck. Yep. They played game 1 already. I mean... I guess that'll be something to do, just instant real replay the entire game. Just showcase it on repeat until they actually go. I actually really want Hugo to win this next game. Actually, no, my ideal one is Hunter and then Hugo win the next 2 games, and that way it's 2 best of 3s rather than 1 best of 3. So that's nice. So yeah, Marty Hodges, this is for you. Just a recap of the game 1. That's a good one by Pogus, actually. Pogus deserves something. So here Hunter should have defogged instead of toxicking the Xerneas. Arceus ground on the other Arceus ground. Well, I mean, he kind of showed, like, he showed oh my god, fucking stop joning, both of you. I don't care. Swagger Marshadow, it would be AIDS. Oh, game two, fuck. So, wait, what? What? Oh, fuck off. Yeah. So, now, oops, well, that just doesn't exist. That's how the game ended, and I think we won that game due to activity. So, we've got that's a very okay, so we've got Excadrill HO versus a second Sandstall. At least this one has a ground resist, but it doesn't look any safer versus Grounceus. Like Zygarde, I guess, but if you use the Z move on the Zygarde, then that's just fun. Why does his team completely lose to Primal Kyogre? Hunter. Like, or just Arceus fucking water. It's hard to deal with because like Chansey's and shit. But I mean, Chansey's not exactly the best ever. So we see Arceus ground from Hunter, which is, well, I mean, it's pretty staple on these sorts of teams just because of Primal Groudon. But I admit I'm confused as to the bring in this game. Goes into his Scizor. Oh, okay. So we're just going to see regular Sand offense. Well, okay then. That changes things. That means that Excadrill is not a suicide lead. I had assumed that he didn't lead off with it because he was predicting the Arceus to counter lead him, and he knows that it's kind of pointless just toxicking that thing when a Chansey can, well, get rid of them. Get rid of the toxic, so, and then the rocks are just there for nothing. Ferrothorn on the U-turn. He doesn't like switching into Ho-Oh. He says before realizing he has like 4 fire resists. 4 fire resists, and one of them is also a bird resist as well. So yeah, if anyone in the chat has any questions, feel free to ask them, and I will try and answer them as well. So hopefully that will happen. Hunter defogs, and then goes into Scizor on the incoming T-Tar. Clearly just trying to U-turn again, but it'll work because this T-Tar's kind of scared out. Needs to be kept decently healthy for the Ho-Oh, and he can go into his own Ho-Oh on the U-turn, but then that'll just invite in one of well, I was actually thinking more along the lines of Grounceus to Toxic, because that's pretty much what the Ho is going to do back. But this sequence of events is going to take a while. Also, I'm going to definitely mute spectators. I don't want to see spectators. So we're in almost exactly the same situation as we were in about 8 turns ago. We see a Ho-Oh. We see no lefties on Ho-Oh. Okay. That'll normally mean banded. So here, Ryan, Hunter, nope, the other one, Hugo, can just protect. Yeah, because the likely item on a Ho-Oh would be banned if it's not. Why would you? What? What? Okay. Well, I guess Hugo's taking this this first best of 3. Why would you stay in there? You can't dude when you misplay. Like, come on. What was the actual point of staying in and judgmenting on that turn? Wait, was it pressure? Where was pressure? Ho is exerting its pressure. What the fuck? Why is he using Z move Ho-Oh? This is an actual. This is a set for. Oh no. What? That's not a good set. I hate that set. Okay. What? What is happening? Okay, crit sucked. Killed the Groundseus, gets rid of one of his 2 separate forms of defog. Really? It's not even that weak to rocks. But at the same time, though, you should never Judgment in that turn. Like, ever. I could understand defog, and I could understand... No, I couldn't, actually, under the knowledge that that scissor is also defog. But let's pretend that I could understand defog to get rid of rocks for your own Ho-Oh. Judgment? Ferrothorn doesn't care about that, though. I mean, yeah, the hacks isn't great, but the thing Klefki doesn't seem to be acknowledging is that it was unneeded on that turn, and in the first game, it didn't matter. Like, Toxic was the play. And, I mean, he's just racking up the extra hazard damage. He can Z Celebrate here. No, he can't. Not yet. Not yet. He needs more damage on the T-Tar first. And the Zygarde, obviously, but the Zygarde's a given. You've never not seen Hugo use pressure. I don't know if I just mangled that sentence up. Hello, Bronson. Doubles into the Excadrill on the T-Tar. Very nice. I think I would have gone for the Sacred Fire that turn. But equally, Excadrill picks up a kill. So that's fun. Oh, great. Someone's using the toilet. Like, he's got 2 more turns of Sand. Hunter just needs to play around this, I guess. Zygarde can obviously take hits, but if it's not going to be Subcoil Zygarde on that team. It just isn't going to be. So it's going to be Rest Talk, but in that case, Iron Head here, Swords Dance. This is going to be the Z move user, unless I'm badly mistaken. That kills, doesn't it? Yeah. Hunter gets double 6-0'd. Jesus. Like, unless this is Jolly Ho-Oh to outspeed Jolly Excadrill. But he doesn't risk it here. He just outright doesn't risk it. He goes into his Zygarde. And then, I mean, he burns. Yay. He can go into the Scizor on the Ho-Oh double. The T-Tar double? Really? I thought that Ho-Oh was better there. Like, there was no way that anything other than the Scizor was coming in. Do a discussion series. Okay, then. Well, that's 2 different people telling me I should, so I think I will. But he defogs on the Excadrill, which, I mean, can set up in this thing's face and gets 2 turns to just pick up 2 kills. Z-Iron? Was it Z-Iron? It was Tectonic Rage. So SD on the U-turn? Yep, okay. So pick your sack, any sack, because literally Ryan can afford to just click Ironhead versus Chansey or T-Tar and click Rock Slide versus this Ho-Oh, because it's guaranteed a 2-hit KO anyway. Why are his teams this ground weak? Groundsius is okay, and it's practically like pulling teeth for me to admit it. But I mean, it's not good against ground spam, like Sand Excadrill. Yeah. Bronson, I believe I entered this tournament and I think it was either I got kicked out of losers due to activity, but I can't remember what round. And I just genuinely don't know. Probably round 4 or 5, but that's a guess. So now we move on to the second series as well, the Ho-Oh just died to the Rock Slide. I mean, as I said, Excadrill could afford to just attack what was in front of it. It didn't need to predict the T-Tar to come in. That would just be unnecessary stunting, because then he can just go for the next Ironhead and just rinse repeat, because you can't effectively stop the +2 Excadrill because you don't have anything that is faster than it. Second set later, so I guess, well, how much later, Hugo? Later as in stop streaming? Oh, fuck. RIP. Okay, well, thank you guys for watching, but that was embarrassing, in all honesty. I hope that the next series is better, very honestly. This is a finals of a tour. It should not be 2 6-0s back to back. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.